What's up, guys? Welcome to Q&A Mondays. Today we're looking at the new Sheffield Metals color TLG Moonstone. And I've got Adam Mazzella from Sheffield with me. Thanks for being here, Adam.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
So this is one of Sheffield's brand new colors. So TLG Moonstone is part of the CoreLine line of colors.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what that is real quick before we jump into this color specifically.
Sure. So, we as a company, Sheffield Metals, want to focus on predominantly PVDF type finishes. Really, we wanted to focus on what has been popular in other parts of the market. So textured SMP or silicon modified polyester has been hugely popular and growing quite a bit over the last we'll say half dozen years or so. We wanted to work and push our paint partners to see if we could come up with something textured for the PVDF world. And this is sort of our version of it. We're combining kind of two trends right now. So, low gloss is popular in certain pockets of the country, as well as this textured. And textured is really popular in many parts of the country, but it's really specific to SMP. So, working with Sherwin-Williams, we've been able to come up with a handful of different colors, really focusing on the trendy in colors right now, the black, the bronzes, and the grays. What we wanted to focus on was something sort of new, different, and unique. So it's textured, it's low gloss, and it's really capturing sort of that antique look, that gray kind of silvery, dull metallic look to it. And as we were trying to come up with names, we were thinking antique, something with a patina, something with, that old world look to it. And ultimately, we came up with Moonstone, and it kind of stuck, and everyone kind of really liked it. It kind of has that nice sheen to it, but it also has that texture. So when you say stone, that Moonstone just kind of fit.
And when we're talking about this color specifically, you mentioned the dark bronze, medium bronze, charcoal gray, and black that exists now in the textured low gloss. This is brand new. It's never existed on the Sheffield color card. So tell me, why did you go this route with creating a brand new color completely?
Honestly, a lot of it had to do with what our customers are asking for. So, and popular and trends. And so in some of our markets, customers are asking for this like knockdown, matte kind of gray type of finish. Some of our customers are asking for that knockdown kind of metallic kind of look. And ultimately, I think this checked a couple of the boxes when we were asking Sherwin to work with us on something textured, something matte finish. We just thought, wouldn't this be really cool to come out with something that other customers are asking for as well in certain pockets of the country. And ultimately, this was the conception. There's a lot of back and forth in terms of, having the right color, a lot of back and forth between the right sheen, a lot of back and forth with the right texture. And so when we finally landed on, yes, this is what we want, the Moonstone name was really something that everyone was like, gee, I really like that. Sure. That fits, that's fitting. It's textured, it's new, it's different, and it really is something standalone from our traditional color palette.
So what types of buildings and applications can you see this being used on in the future?
Honestly, it's going to be accepting of anything and everything in our traditional color palette line. I think it really does fit that. So it's not out of reach of your typical homeowner, as well as it's going to be able to fit, and it has the same warranties and what you can expect in terms of enduring over time, 40-year finish warranty, as all of our other items.
And with a color like this, I can really see it becoming a timeless classic, fitting in with all different kinds of architecture, because it does have that metallic look. It has some of the grays, some of the blues, but it's not too glossy, so it can blend in with some of those other natural elements as well.
Yeah, and one of the knocks we sometimes get, particularly in residential situations, is the gloss. I'm worried about the gloss, from the sun at a certain time of the day, and having a high reflection. The nice thing about this low gloss is it's going to knock some of that down. Additionally, wall applications, we think this is going to be really cool as well. So what you see in some of the car dealership or restaurant or retail settings is a silver, is this gray. We feel like this is a great fit for that as well. It's not like, really popping in terms of that bright silver, but it is that gray. It is that matte finish. It has that texture. And, the cool thing is if you have it in a wall setting, you can kind of feel it. And it almost has like a metal type feel, but it is a painted textured, low gloss thing, and I think it is going to be really receptive in the market.
So with Moonstone, with TLG Moonstone, what kind of availability we're going to see across the country with Sheffield Metals?
So we're launching this as specifically a 24 gauge item, 40 and 48 inch wide substrate. So it's really fitting our kind of main color card offerings. Today, early October 2023, it is available already in all of our locations. So we are preparing for this to be available to everyone everywhere in our traditional customer mix throughout the country.
And not only that, we have color chip samples available for request, so you can actually get this in your hands, feel the texture, see the gloss amount on this color, and really put it in your environment.
We have everything somebody may or may not want to have in front of them to make the decision if they want to go with something from the CoreLine, something from the traditional product mix line, and go from there.
Yeah, and what about like a touch-up paint, things like that?
Great question. So we do have paint pens. Again, paint pens are viewed as something for touch-up only. The paint pen is going to match color, it's going to match gloss, but it will not have that texture. There's really no good air dry, quote unquote, textured type thing to it. So keep that in mind when you're doing touch-ups. Again, we always want to emphasize touch-up is for touch-up, not for, painting wholesale portions of a roof or a flashing or things like that.
So Adam, how would you describe the Moonstone color?
The Moonstone, it sort of has this antique look. All of the CoreLine items, all 5 of them, really by nature have kind of this warm, dark look to them. So all of them are darker in nature. They are all sort of designed with that texture to have a different slight appearance in different lights. So what you see here in a bright light versus, a dark light versus,
different angles.
Yeah, different angles or morning or dusk. It's designed to always have that like warmer finish, warmer look to it, but also come across as like a kind of a timeless look to it.
And as we're kind of wrapping up here about Moonstone, what are some final thoughts about availability, things like that, and people who want this color?
So Moonstone is going to be available at all of our locations, specifically 24 gauge steel. Anything outside of 24 gauge steel, 40, 48 at this point is going to be considered a special paint run. So if you need aluminum or a different gauge on the steel, should demand increase above and beyond that, we'll look at offering it as a standard item in multiple different substrates, and whether it be steel or aluminum or different thicknesses.
And we did have Moonstone highly featured at MetalCon 2023. So if you got to see that in the Sheffield Metals booth, comment down below, let us know what you thought. And if you want to get some samples in your hands, in your environment, check out sheffieldmetals.com. Well, thanks, Adam. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. As always, I'm Thad Barnette. We'll catch you next time.